You're alive.
The awkward couple seconds while we're just waiting. So we're just sitting there smiling, like, hi. It's so funny.
Okay, I had to mute my thing for a second. Okay, just tweeting out real quick.
Woo!
Okay, how is everybody doing today?
Good. Do you want to see my masterpiece?
Of course. Yes, it's beautiful.
This is the best thing I've ever painted in my entire life.
It's kind of giving me the vibes of, what's that Pokemon that the two villains have?
Oh, Meowth?
Yeah, for some reason it's giving me those vibes.
It kind of looks like Meowth.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
I think Lisa is our only viewer so far.
Hi, Lisa. We love you.
No, Allie's here.
Allie!
Oh, thank you so much, Allie. We love and appreciate you. You didn't take notes while you read the book, did you?
I took a couple on my phone for like 30 pages, and they were a lot. That's about it. Okay. And it was like randomly in the middle of the book, too. I was just like,
I love that. We didn't even introduce this live. We're discussing the Dead Romantics today. I'm sure you guys know that. I'm so excited to talk about this book.
Me too.
I did take notes while reading, and they're not very organized. So I try to organize them by like color coding them into different categories.
Oh, smart.
Is this gonna go well? Probably not, but I did my best.
Yay.
It's been a long time since I've had to do any sort of discussion on a book like this before. So it's gonna be interesting. Okay, so maybe we should start with like overall thoughts.
Okay.
And people can tell us what their overall thoughts were as well.
Yes.
Yeah, what were your overall thoughts?
I thought it was beautiful. My only thing that like I didn't like is I predicted like the big like plot twist thing like 50 pages into the book. Like I was just like, yeah, this is what's going on. I thought it was really good. I liked how like she just talked about everything, and like death is like really prominent, but like it's sad, but like the way that Ashley Poston like talks about it and like the things she say like makes it feel beautiful almost, which is like weird because death is not usually seen as beautiful, but like the way it's described is like good.
Yeah, I feel like she weaved it into the story really well too. But it's funny, I was watching Lisa's vlog yesterday, and she was talking about it and talking about how she wasn't like expecting it to be really sad, even though like you shouldn't.
I wasn't either.
That. Me either. And like I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, romance with a ghost. But then like the whole backdrop is her going to a funeral for her dad. So like obviously it was gonna be sad. But like, I didn't even think about it. And
I completely forgot about that. I was just like, oh, this is really sad.
Yeah, like I still don't think I even like fully processed that until I was watching Lisa's vlog, and I was like, oh yeah, like I wasn't expecting that, but it totally was like so sad.
It was.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Lisa sobbed.
Yeah, it was so sad. I surprisingly didn't cry. I thought I was going to, but I didn't.
I didn't like actually cry, but I definitely like teared up at some points. I might have had like a slow dramatic tear or two. I feel like I did because I think I was reading in the room with my dad, like he was watching TV, and I think I had some tears, and I was like wiping them away so like he wouldn't see them. Like, yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, totally like depressed.
You're like, sorry, my eye's itchy, just like flicking the tear away.
You know what? I feel like even if it was just a silly little goofy ghost rom-com, I feel like you still would have cried. You would have found a reason. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Not to call you out or anything, Lisa, but you cry a lot.
It's okay, I do too. I'm a sad gal.
My overall thoughts is I really, really loved it, obviously. I love Ashley Poston, and I feel like I haven't read like a contemporary type like book from her in a while, because the last one I read outside of like the Geekerella Once Upon a Con series was Heart of Iron, and I didn't love it. So I'm glad that I could like return to a book that I loved by her.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I know I'm not. I'm aware. Yeah, like, I loved it so much. I do have like a minor complaint, and we can like get into that. But it's not even a complaint because I'm not even mad about it. But like, I was just like, you know, it's just something to mention when we get there.
Also, I love your sweater. It is so cute.
Thank you.
It's
I've been
so
waiting
cute.
to wear it because this is like my favorite fall sweater. But it's been so warm here up until about a week ago. So I've been waiting. I figured this would be the perfect time. Okay, so I have my notes categorized between characters, romance, plot, and then quotes. I don't know if we should discuss quotes, but I wrote down a lot of quotes.
Yeah, me too.
So do you want to start with the plot first or what?
Sure, I'm fine starting with whatever. I should have took notes, but I didn't. I know for next time.
Yeah, I don't even know if my notes are helpful. I just know that my memory is so bad that like I would have forgotten everything.
Yeah,
mine's been so my first plot note is that I just really loved the first chapter. Like I feel like it just set up like the main character really well. Like I feel like we got to know a lot about her right off the bat, but it didn't feel like info dumpy. Like I just feel like it set up her world and like everything really, really well. Loved the writing, obviously, with Ashley Poston. And I loved the humor. I feel like the humor was done really, really well as well. I honestly don't fully remember what the first chapter was. I think it was just her going to the editor. Yeah, it was just the whole thing.
Oh yeah, because he told her that like, oh, the cactus. I just remembered about the cactus.
Yeah, the whole first chapter is just her going to her editor, and him not giving her the extension on her deadline.
How dare he?
I mean, yeah. So I just really loved the first chapter. I feel like it was done really well. I really liked the banter between the two characters, which were borderline in getting into the romance there, but it was really good.
It was.
Okay, I thought it was really funny when she found out about her dad dying. Now, in and of itself, it's not funny. I can see the look on your face.
I was about to say, Brittany, that is not something that is like, funny.
The note that I put was not her finding out her dad died immediately after a makeout session.
Oh, yeah.
I was
like
the
circumstance.
Timing.
Yeah.
I was like, you literally were just making out with your hot editor, and now your dad's dead. Like,
yeah.
And you just
so
like,
sad. What are the odds? Oh, jeez.
I could have set it up better. But like, it was funny.
It's like one of those things where it like sounds funny in your head, but the way you say it, it's just like, shouldn't have said it like that.
Yeah. I want to like have the book in the background, but I've got nowhere good to put it, so I'm just gonna go to the side. Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, the circumstance of it is like very like sad. Like I would hate that.
Yeah, I wrote a note about like the murder that Florence solved when she was a kid, and I was just wondering if we were ever going to learn anything more about it, which we did, and we found out that like she had feelings for the ghost, and I was like, oh, so she has a pattern, she has a type. It's kind of fun, kind of funky.
Aren't alive.
Yeah, kind of funky. I think I wrote this down under characters, but I love that she had like was able to just see ghosts her entire life, because going into the book, I think I was just kind of thinking like she could only see Ben, and like that was it, and she didn't have like a history of like seeing ghosts. So I really like that detail as well. It's just like a little thing that I should have expected, but I didn't. So I really like that as well.
Yeah, that's what gave me like the Cassidy Blake vibes, but like without like the sad story that leads to why. I think it's cool. Yeah. But like just imagine when you're younger, like you're just seeing people that other people can't see. Like I wonder what she thought like before she told anybody. Like she was like, what are these?
Yeah, and I'm like, I like that she like shared that with her dad. Like her dad could also see the ghosts, and I thought that was like a cute little bonding thing. I loved her relationship with her dad. Like even though like we didn't really get to see any of it, we just got like one little conversation. But like, so sad.
I think that's what makes it more like beautiful. Like the relationship is we only saw like her memories and like that like afterwards kind of, because you could see like who he was as a person just through like everything that came after his passing, which is like
yeah, I like that too.
But I wonder why. Like, only her and her dad. Like, why didn't her siblings?
Yeah. I don't know if that was ever, like, actually mentioned. Because, again, memory is garbage.
Yeah, so it's fine.
But yeah, I kind of like that it was just them, and it was just, like, the thing that they shared, and, like, her family, like, couldn't understand that part of it. I really liked that. I'm not surprised.
Literally. Like, I felt my heart, like, break a little bit, and I got, like, sad goosebumps, you know? Like, when you're sad, you just feel, like, the chills, and you just feel that weird feeling on the inside. It's just like, ew.
For some reason, like, deaths of dads always gets me really, really hard, and I feel like it's usually the dad that's dead in books. I know I'm always the one. That is. I don't know. I know I'm always one to kill off the dad in my books. And I don't really know why that is.
Yeah, I have the same pattern, unfortunately.
Dad deaths just really get me when they're in books. And I was going to say one that got me real bad, but it's kind of a spoiler for a book, so I'm not going to say it. But
dang.
Yeah. So you told me, I believe after our last live show, that you thought that Ben was alive. And I was like, no. Like, I immediately shut you down. Like, I didn't even, like... I was like, no, like, he's dead.
Yeah, no questions asked. I was like, I feel like he's not actually dead. But he's like, no, there's no way he's dead.
I'm like, you're so stupid. Like, of course he's dead. I'm like, the whole premise of the book is that he's dead and he's a ghost. I'm like, what do you mean? So I literally wrote down on page 260, I was like, Alyssa says she thinks Ben is alive. And I shut her down. But what if? Why is Ben changing?
Yeah, she was so quick too. It was like a gaslight gatekeep girl boss moment there. She was like, no.
And like, no way. I think I might have wrote something else about it. Maybe not. I don't know. But like, I feel like if you hadn't said that to me, I might not have caught on when like the little changes started to happen.
Yeah.
Because like I totally didn't catch on before that. And like when you get to the point where she realizes that he's not dead, and she realizes that her friend never actually said he died, that he just got hit by a car. And I'm like, I didn't even think about that. And I feel like it's one of those things where like you either get it or you don't until like, you know, it's revealed. And I'm like, I love how Ashley Poston did it because I didn't even think about it. I just was like, yeah, he's dead. Like, of course. Didn't question it at all. So when he started changing, I was like, wait a minute. Is Melissa right? And I just shut her down like an asshole.
It was funny.
I see.
Yeah. See, I picked up on that. She never said anything about him being dead because she just changed the subject. So like that was like the end of it. So like either she forgot about it or like Bestie Ben is still not alive. Well, not. I was gonna say kicking, but like he's not. Yeah. Obviously, because what happened.
I think it's because I was so caught up on like my question of how did he die. Like I even have a note, and there's a whole like progression of this one note where it says, I need to know how Benji died and why he showed up at the funeral parlor. And I said so many questions. And then immediately I drew an arrow and was like, page 111. He got hit by a car. OMG. So I feel like I was just like so caught up in that. That I didn't even like stop to question anything. And I feel like I'm either like my brain is super turned on when I'm reading and I'm trying to figure out everything, or I'm like the exact opposite where it's just shut down and I'm just taking everything as it comes. I'm not paying attention to anything. I feel like I was just so caught in like, how did he die? What's the romance going to be? How are they going to get together? And I think I also had my mind set on that this was going to be like tragic at the end. And like the whole thing where she didn't want to write a book with like a happy ending because she didn't believe in love anymore. And so I was like, is that how Ashley Poston's going to end this book? Like, this book's not going to have a happy ending? And I feel like I was just thinking the entire time. Like, I'm pretty sure I even mentioned it in either the announcement video for the book club or like a TBR or something, where I was like, I feel like it's going to be so tragic at the end because he's dead. So, like, they can't be together. So I love, we might as well just get into how we felt about that. Like, did you like that he was dead or not dead? Sorry.
Obviously, if he was dead, I would still be sad. Your wording with that was so funny to me. I'm sorry.
I need help.
Did you like that he was dead?
Like that he wasn't dead.
Yeah, I think it was good because I was thinking too, like even like when he like showed up as a ghost, like I was just thinking like for the purposes of the story, I feel like it would have made sense because normally, but like you were saying, like the tragedy thing or whatever. Please let's comment. She put on It's perfect. But yeah, I think it was cool that he was alive. And when she like went to go visit him in the hospital, like he thought it was all just a dream. Like after, well,
Yeah.
yeah, like she went to talk to him afterwards. I was like, what? But then when he said zoom zoom juice, I was like, oh my god, he remembered.
Like that was the best way she could have revealed that
Yeah.
he remembered.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Yeah, that's what got me. I was like, this is the cutest thing ever.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit annoyed that he was alive. Just a little
Really?
bit. Yeah. Like this is like the one complaint that I had. That's not even a complaint because like on one hand, I'm obviously super happy he's alive because that means they could be together and that means he's not dead, which I'm not happy about. You know. Did I word that? The realization.
Oh
no. Oh my god. I think we're just realizing that I'm like happy everybody's dead and I think it's funny.
It's like I think they all need to be dead.
Like, might as well, you know, throw Florence in there too.
Right? It's just a ghost romance.
The ending should have been that she died to be with Ben. No, okay, it's not Romeo and Juliet. No, okay, we're gonna start over. Because I don't even remember what I was trying to say.
I don't either.
Anyways, yeah, like I was a little bit annoyed because of my expectations of like the tragic love story of like girl falling in love with a ghost. But I was like, it was done so well, and it was like so cute that I couldn't even be mad about it, even though like in the back of my head I was like a little bit annoyed. But like I wanted them together so badly. Like so many of my notes for like the romance section was like, I'm so nervous, like I want them to be together so badly. How is this gonna like end? So I like that it kept me on my toes like that, and obviously I'm happy that he's alive. But it was just kind of like the little like, oh, like he wasn't technically a ghost, like he was. It was just kind of like an out of body thing, and she was able to see him. But
see, but that gets you thinking, like IRL, if that was to ever happen to you, would you become like a ghost like that?
I hope so.
Because that would be cool. Dude, I would love, but like what if you're stuck with someone you don't like what if someone you despise?
Then enemies to lovers, bestie. Come on.
True.
Our enemies to lovers moment.
Yes.
Oh, but like what if there was like nobody who can actually see ghosts and you're just like a ghost floating around and nobody knows?
I would freak out.
Damn. I think that's really all my notes about the plot. Maybe. She has opinions.
She's like, let me talk.
Yeah, I think I definitely cried a bit during the dad's funeral. Yeah. I also cried a bit during the romance as well. Like when he like left. Like after like going back to himself, like coming back alive, out of his coma, if you will. Because that's what happened. I don't know why I said if you will.
If you will.
And then when they came back together, I think I cried a little bit too.
Yeah, it was so cute.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about the plot? I feel like I like how we found out that the author that she ghost wrote for was dead.
I know.
See, that one I do like.
Shook me to my core. I was like, what?
I was happy about because that was fun.
Well, because that makes sense why she never leaves Maine.
Yeah.
You know? But like, why did they never tell her?
I don't know. I think she said it, but I don't remember.
It's
why.
like,
I think they were just trying to keep it a secret, like from the world, because I feel like obviously the world didn't know.
Yeah.
But probably so like they could keep finishing like her books and her contract without being like it's ghost written.
But I wonder how like she even found Florence. Like, was she just like wandering the astral plane, and then she just felt like a calling to Florence?
Maybe.
She was like,
maybe like ghosts just like are attracted to people who like can see them, and they just have like a ghosty radar.
Like a link.
Yeah,
Because that was cool. Like, just she literally ghost wrote for a ghost. Like the ghost asked her. And she's like a writer that can see ghosts, so she's literally a ghost writer.
So many ghosty vibes. I love it.
I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, I loved that reveal. That had me shaking in my boots.
Me too.
I don't think I wrote anything about it because I think I was just so caught up in everything else, like I couldn't even think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I almost forgot that even happened because I didn't write it down.
I was gonna say something earlier, and I'm glad you brought it up because it completely slipped my mind.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember other things from the plot because I feel like I didn't really take that many notes on the plot.
Yeah. I felt like it was done good though. Like it didn't feel like it felt like believable.
Mm-hmm.
Which was
I like the story. I felt like the pacing was pretty good. And it was like a quick read.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I could have read it in a sitting if I like tried to. I didn't.
Yeah.
But like if I tried to, I could have.
Yeah.
And would have been like living my best life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh, we can talk about the reference to the Geekerella character that I mentioned in our reading sprints. So there's a reference to Jessica Stone from the Geekerella series. I put, we love the Ashley Poston universe. But Jessica Stone is the actress that is like a side character in Geekerella. She's one of the main characters in Princess and the Fangirl. I almost forgot what it was called. And then I believe she's mentioned and like shown maybe a couple of times in Bookish and the Beast. I don't remember. I think she's definitely like at the end at least. Yeah. Because I feel like all the characters are at the end. I don't know. But like, I didn't like immediately like know who it was. I just saw the name and I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? And I was like, she's an actress. And so like I quickly Googled like Princess and the Fangirl and I was like, what's her name? Like I feel like I usually miss out on like these little references. Like I feel like I just totally don't get them unless like I'm really into it. So I'm glad that I caught on to that since you didn't.
Yeah, well, I haven't read Geekerella yet, so there's no way I could have.
Yeah, you need to.
But I want to read it now, though. Like after reading this book, I'm just like, I need to read everything by Ashley Poston. Like this is.
I feel like you would really enjoy the Geekerella series. It's so cute. I don't know if you would enjoy Heart of Iron. You might enjoy it more than me. I don't know.
Yeah, isn't that her sci-fi?
Sci-fi, yeah. It gives me like Lunar Chronicles vibes, but like not nearly as good.
Yeah.
And then I haven't read her fantasy book, Among the Beasts and Briars, but I want to.
Oh, I didn't even know she had a fantasy book.
Yeah, I believe it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so she was really just going for the Beauty and the Beast retellings for a little bit. I'm pretty sure they came out in the same year, too.
Oh, wow.
Or, like, a year apart.
Well,
they were, like,
I guess
really close together.
Yeah, but if she was working on them both, like, near each other, I guess it's good that they were both kind of, like, Beauty and the Beast.
Did you know that the Geekerella series was, like, IP? So it's like intellectual property, meaning that like she was asked to write these books or like
really
like, it was like Disney IP, I'm pretty sure. Whereas like
I didn't
something
know that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I didn't know that either until she like mentioned it and she's like, yeah, so Geekerella was IP and I was like
that's cool.
Interesting. Like if I were to write IP one day, I would want it to be like that or like you don't know unless you know kind of thing. Yeah, I kind of really like that. Yeah, I was like, sparking something in here, but I had to like look it up to make sure I wasn't like going insane. Yeah. I can talk about characters now, I guess.
I guess.
If I have to. So I absolutely adore books about books and books about writers and like readers and like all of that stuff. Like that is like one of my favorite things in the entire world. Like that is my sweet spot for books. Yeah. Like, yeah. Because I feel like I can just like relate to it on like a whole different level. And I know like some people don't enjoy that because when you read books about readers specifically, or even writers, because this one's obviously about a writer, there's like a lot of like specific mentions to like books. And some people don't like references like that because she referenced a whole lot of stuff in this one. She referenced like Christina Lauren and other popular authors.
Yeah, I can't remember any other ones.
Me either, but I feel like she made like a lot of specific references to books and authors, and I feel like that could be a turnoff for some people. Not for me. I live for that.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Brittany froze. Did I freeze or did Brittany freeze?
To things. You're freezing.
Yeah, I thought it was you, but it was me.
It was you, bestie. Yeah, like I'm just a sucker for those kinds of things. I get so much joy out of it. Like, you know, books like Book Lovers and Beach Read
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think of a million other things. Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant. I guess Eliza and Her Monsters could count because she's like a webcomic writer. And then like the love interest is a writer. So like I live for shit like that. I love it so much.
Well, because like you can relate to it, so it just makes the reading experience even better. Because you're just like, I get this, and like if a character likes it, obviously you're gonna like the character more because you're just like, I do that too. I love that too. Like
because like in like Beach Read, like the main character January is dealing with a lot of like writer's block, and I'm like, this hurts, or like talking about publishing or something, and it's like, ow. And then I don't know, I love it, and then I love just like all like the little lines that like the writer can make to like bring it back to like the character's love of reading or writing, and just like I just find it all so very clever and so enjoyable. Like if it makes sense, I don't know. I'm usually just a fan of pop culture references in general. I know a lot of people think that it can like date a book in like a negative way. But I personally love that. Like I love reading older books and seeing like MySpace mentioned or like Nokia phones or some shit. Like I really enjoy that because it's like so of the time, and it's like a time capsule of like when that book was written. So I'm personally all for like pop culture references and like things that will date the book, because I just think it's so fun. Like there's like a whole like set of people who hate books that mention TikTok, and they find it like so cringy and annoying, and I'm like, I'm a sucker for it. Like there's definitely a mention of TikTok in one of my books, and it's just like so funny to me. And again, it's like one of those things that's like you know, it's shows that's of the time, and like it's more realistic in my head. Like I find it more cringy if like an author like makes up a social media site to replace a real one. And like just call it TikTok. Like don't call it Tic Tac or some shit. Like it's TikTok.
So I think it also depends on like how often they do it as well, and like the way that it's done, because there's like some like stories that I know that it just like feels very forced, but like if authors are able to like incorporate it into their story in a way that like makes sense, then I like it better. And if it's not like overdone, you know, like I feel like in the Dead Romantics it was good and it made sense.
I feel like she did mention some things a little too much. Like she kept mentioning the same authors a lot, and like it didn't bother me, but I just kept that was weird. She would just kind of like swap one out for like the other. I need to plug my computer in. So I don't know. I overall really enjoy pop culture references. It just, I don't know. It brings me joy. It makes me happy.
I like it. Well, because you can relate to it sometimes too. Like I was saying earlier, like it just makes the reading experience like, I don't know.
I wrote down that I deeply related to Florence, and this like connects to the book aspect. So I was like, she wants love like it is in the books, but knows that she'll never find it. Even though like obviously she did. But you know, like it's just like that idea that like we're all so obsessed with fictional characters and like the romances that are in them, and just knowing that like it's never going to be like that in real life. And like most of the romances we read are written by women, and men written by women are so much better than real life men. And so it's like obviously like that's not what reality is going to be like, but like you want it to be real so badly. So like I deeply related to that, and I was like, I feel like you're writing about me specifically, because I'm like so obsessed with fictional characters and like fictional romances, and I just I want it to be me.
Well, they're so beautiful. Like
they really are. I even get that way about my own romances that I write, and I'm like, I literally created this. Like, why am I feeling this way? Like it's so funny. I totally had dreams with my own main character. I'm not gonna lie.
It's so funny.
Beckett lives rent free in my mind. What can I say?
He really does.
I have a note that just says, "Oh, I hate her ex, pretentious dick."
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started on that, man.
I don't know what made me write that. Like, what had happened to make me write that specific thing? So I didn't put a page number. But it was probably just like a general, like, "Oh, he's a dick." probably in reference to him like taking her life story and like making it into this weird fictional book. And like yeah, I feel like there's like reader discussion questions, and I thought we could go through some, but there's one specifically about this.
Well, the thing that got me, though, is, like, he didn't like it when it was, like, in the context that it was, like, actually her real life. Like, she had to act like it was a story.
Yeah, my parents just got home, so if you can hear them, I apologize. Do you feel Lee Marlowe, also, I don't like his name, but do you feel that he was justified in writing When the Dead Sing? Do you think original ideas exist, or do we all pull inspiration, knowingly or not, from the experiences we've had and the people we've met throughout our lives?
Well, he, like, completely retold the story. Like, I don't feel like he really changed up that much, and he just took everything that she said and turned it into his own
her
story.
Life.
Yeah. And
like, his, like, excuse for it, or his, like, you know, explanation for it is like, oh, like, you're never gonna write it. And it's like, but she specifically said that she wanted to.
And he didn't even, like, ask, like, before or anything. Like, he didn't even tell her. Like, even when he got the book deal and stuff, like, he just, like, he knew what he was doing.
100%. I'm going to try to shut this door all the way. So I'm just going to try to, give me 2 seconds.
Okay. Oh, yeah, her ex is literally the worst. I've never hated a man as much as I hate him. He is disgusting. Oh. Despicable human.
Get my headphone in. Yeah, we don't need to know the context. Yeah, I personally don't think he was justified. Like, if it was a situation where they had like good communication and she was like, you know, this is like a story, I don't want to write it, and like, you know, but the fact that she did, and also like if he asked permission, like, can I do this?
He didn't.
But she straight up was like, I want to write these one day, and he was like, you're never going to, and he just takes it for himself without saying anything. Yeah, I don't think he was justified at all.
Yeah, which that is why I don't like to tell people my story ideas, because I always have the fear that that's going to happen to me, so I just keep everything very private. But I mean, I tell Brittany everything, like all of my story stuff, because I trust her with my life. So like,
yeah, I tell you everything too. But the other part of the question was, do you think original ideas exist, or do we all pull inspiration, knowingly or not, from the experiences we've had and the people we've met throughout our lives? I think that there aren't really any like core original ideas. I feel like everybody can bring an original and unique spin to like tried and true tropes or plot ideas. But yeah, I don't know if there's any like core original ideas. There's also a lot of stories that have been told a million times, but certain you know, marginalizations haven't had the chance to tell that kind of story through their own lens. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
original ideas like, don't exist, but you can take your own twist on them.
Well, there's so many stories out there now because people have been writing like stories like from the beginning of like everything. So like there's literally like no original story, but like you said, it's just like your take on it and like the way that you like tackle it and like show it is like obviously,
and the way
like,
you can bring your own experiences to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well said, Lisa.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
We can talk about Florence's feelings surrounding her dad's death if we want to get a little emotional, a little sad.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah, but I basically just wrote that like I loved all of the pain that she had, like how it was written, and how heartbreaking it was, and how it's all so fresh when we're reading it because he just died. I feel like a lot of the time it's like grief told from like later on, like after they've had some space from it. But this was all so fresh. Like she literally finds out on the page that he died after we like just saw her have a conversation with him like not that long prior. And I just love how she like portrayed it. It felt very real to me, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, this whole story just felt very realistic, and I feel like the way that it was tackled and described, like it just like you could feel it, you know, but like it was sad.
I loved all of it. I loved seeing her in the funeral parlor. The scene where she had to go see her dad's like body.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was getting ready the other day. Like, I can't imagine. And it's just like normalized for her because since they live in like a funeral parlor, like she's seen plenty of dead bodies. But like
she
the
was
fact that
locked
it's like
in there with them once.
Yeah, it's literally her dad. Like I don't know how her sister like took care of. I don't know.
Say, like her sister had to do like all like the embalming and the makeup, and I'm like,
yeah.
She's like, does he look like himself? And I'm like,
yeah.
God.
I would have thrown up.
Like it was hard enough to like I've seen like my grandpa when he died. Like I saw his body in the casket, and it was not pleasant. So like I can't even imagine like that being like even like a more immediate family member, and like being someone like your dad, and then you having to do all that yourself.
Yeah. I don't know how she did it.
No. I mean, I guess she's just used to it because it's her job, but I still am like...
Yeah. Well, because there's that personal attachment. Like...
Yeah.
It's weird.
I could never be me.
Mm-mm.
Could never be me. Yeah, and then another thing about her dad was they talked about how proud he was of her all throughout the book. Like, everyone was like, your dad was so proud of you, and like all this stuff. And I was like... I have a gut feeling that he knows about her ghostwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And like everybody knew about her ghostwriting, and I loved that reveal so much.
Yeah.
It was so satisfying.
Like, oh yeah, the whole time.
Right? Like everybody knew. He was so proud of her, and like she was so caught up in the fact that like he never knew, and like she had never told him, and she felt like a lot of regret about that. But then like she finds out that like he knew the entire time.
Yeah, it's
so good. And then like the whole town was proud of her. And they had like the...
You have to be for a second.
They had the ghost written like romance books like in the window at their bookstore, and it was like so cute. Yeah, like it had me sobbing. It was the cutest thing. It just made me so happy because like I had a gut feeling that like her dad knew. I had the feeling that Carver told her, like her brother. I don't remember if that's how they said it or if he just knew. But yeah, like I just love that, and I love how Carver was like trying to like guess it the entire time, like who she ghost wrote for. I thought that was funny too. I just love the whole like concept around the ghost writing. The dogs are barking. Yeah, so I just love that whole reveal. I thought it was really satisfying and really fun, and I'm really happy that her dad knew. And I like
Well, because he's just such like an important person in her life. So like, and that's like an important thing to her too. Like if I was in that situation, I would be so sad if he didn't know. But like the fact that he knew the whole time is just like,
because like the entire book, she thinks that he was just like proud of her, because of like her first book, and like she was like she doesn't feel good about her first book because it didn't do as well as she thought it was going to, and then she had to like resort to ghostwriting instead, and like whatever. And like I like the idea that he would have been just proud of her no matter what, but I also like knowing that like he knew about the ghostwriting, was proud of her for that too.
Yeah.
On the topic of her first book, I knew that Ben had read it. I was like, of course he read it.
Yeah.
It made me so happy.
I didn't know. I had no idea that he would have read it. But like when he said he did, I was like, oh.
Like there were like the little lines he was dropping about like the romance book or like whatever that like got him into this like into the genre or like whatever. I was like, it's totally gonna be her book. Like of course it is. It's so cute. And like I love that like he knew who she was like from the second like she walked into his office, or like even before that. Like he knew that not only she was ghostwriting his like grandmother's books, which I loved that already, but that like he knew her from her book that she had written. I really like that.
I wonder if he was like fangirling. Well, I guess.
I hope so.
Yeah. Like if he was like freaking out on the inside. He's like, oh my god, Fleur stays in my office.
I wonder if like he was freaking out when they kissed for the first time, being like, oh my god.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
So funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I don't have anything else written down for the characters. He was so precious.
I had a hard time picturing what he looked like in my head, though. Like, he was just a blob.
I always picture blobs.
But, like, he was a cute blob.
Oh, I got the Wi-Fi.
I know, it's, like, gloomy and rainy, so it's, like, going in and out. Oh no. Am I the one lagging or is it Brittany? I'm confused. It looks to be Brittany at the moment. Oh, are we good? I'm having a hard time figuring out whose Wi-Fi is spotty.
It's so weird because like next to the live symbol up here, it has like the Wi-Fi bar and it has like one little bar, but then my Wi-Fi has like full bars in the bottom. So like I don't know what's going on. No one need to call me out like this.
Well, I was freezing earlier, so it's like I'm confused. Oh.
Confused. Was that you this time?
That was you, I think.
You were only frozen on my screen. I don't know.
I know. I accidentally passed it on to you.
This is chaotic and fun.
We're still making it work, though. It's all good.
Oh, I missed out on one of my plot things.
Lisa said, I'm trying to help.
Thank you, love. But I wrote down that I love how the book's ending like truly mirrored the beginning of it, like the going to the editor's office and then like visiting home. Like it was just so beautifully done. And like I love that like she like just went to like go to her editor's office to just like talk to him about whatever. And then finding out that he remembers and she's like, come home with me. And then he was just like, yeah, of course, like duh. And then like her family like got to meet the ghost that she was talking to, and like it was just, like it was totally so like second like nature for them. They're like, yeah, cool, like she was talking to you like you were a ghost, now you're just here.
They didn't even seem to be phased by it either. Like they were just like, okay. Welcome.
It was so beautiful. Absolutely obsessed with that. Like I love when books kind of start in the same place as it ends, but like the characters are so different and like they've gone on this big journey, so like it's really not the same at all. I really enjoy that.
It's so good.
Okay, we can get to the romance, which I'm sure is what we all want to talk about. I know it's what I want to talk about. When they first kissed, all I wrote was in all caps, they kissed. It was so damn cute. And then like the second she got like the phone call, I was like, shit, it's about to be ruined.
Yeah.
We just got here. Were you expecting them to like kiss before he like died?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what I was expecting to happen. Like I was expecting him to be there and to like for them to run into each other, but I wasn't expecting the kiss to happen. Like,
because like I feel like my whole like perception of this book before reading it, and I don't know where I necessarily got this perception, but I always thought they were going to be like they didn't like each other, the editor and the writer, Florence and Ben. Like I thought they wouldn't like each other, and so I thought that like they wouldn't kiss or like be romantically involved at all before him dying. And that he would just kind of show up as a ghost and she would have to like reluctantly like help him and like they would like find a way to like each other like in the process. So it was kind of like a shock to me that like they kissed beforehand, but it was so cute. I was a big fan of it. It was so good. I had all the fluttery feelings going on. I was very happy.
Oh, the cards. I love that scene so much.
I am such a sucker for scenes with like romantic interests and like the families. Like I feel like one of my favorites is from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and she like visits home with him and like they play bullshit. So good. I need to rewatch that movie as if I haven't watched it like a million times. But
I think that's my mom's favorite movie. She was talking about it the other day.
Have you seen it?
I haven't, no.
Oh, you need to watch it. It used to be on Netflix, at least in Canada. And then I went to go make my best friend watch it with me, and it wasn't there anymore.
I think they just added it back, because I'm pretty sure she told me. I'm checking it right now.
It might be on American. It might not be on Canadian, though. Yeah. I have it on DVD, so like, it's not like it really matters. Not as getting so distracted.
It's on American Netflix right now.
Oh, if it's not here, I'm gonna be so sad.
Yeah, because my sister said something in our group chat about some movie they added, and then my mom was like, so is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. She's like, this is my favorite movie.
It's not on Canadian Netflix. I own it on DVD, though, so I'll have to bring it to my friend's house. Yeah, it's such a good movie.
Yeah. Well, with the card game, too, the thing that, like, I loved the most was that her family was, like, respectful about, like, her seeing him, you know, like they weren't just like, oh, like you see a ghost. Like it kind of just plays into like their family just like respecting one another, you know, and how like they called him the ghost at first, and Florence was like, oh, he's Ben, and then so they started calling him Ben. I was like, it's so good,
so cute. I also just like really loved their like back and forth with each other, and like they were talking once he was like a ghost. I mean, I liked it before too, but like that was more of like the professional side of them. So like I liked when they like started to like be a bit more casual with each other. And also with the scene where they were both crying, and so she hit on him to make him laugh so they'd stop crying, because she cries when other people cry.
Yep.
It was so good.
That was so good. And I like how like Ashley wrote it too. Like her words were like just like assuring. I was like, yeah.
I feel like so Ashley Poston is so good at writing romance, obviously. So like I really hope she writes more adult romances. I hope she returns to the young adult romances too. Like I don't know what her next book is going to be. I don't know if it's been announced or not. But I'm just a sucker for any of her romances. They bring me the utmost of joy.
I need to read more of them now.
I also wrote a note saying, I'm so glad they kissed before he died, because they definitely can't kiss now.
Yeah, definitely can't.
Yeah, and at that point, I was still convinced that he was just dead. So I really thought that was the only kiss they would ever get to share, and I was so sad about it. But I was like, at least they had their one kiss. So, like, they know what it's like, and we know what it's like. Yeah. I put page 138, so cute, why is he dead? And I don't know what happened on that page.
Yeah, literally all the notes I have is just, like, quotes. I'm just like, wow. Beautiful.
I'm trying to figure out what this is about. Oh, I think they're talking about her ex's book. Oh, yeah. So she said, he made her a bad kisser, like pathetically bad. And I don't know about you, but I think salty bitches kiss great. And then he said, in my experience, women with sharp tongues usually have soft lips. You kiss sharp-tongued girls often. His gaze lingered on my lips. Not often enough.
Oh, iconic.
Yeah. And then she had to like remind herself that he was a ghost. She's like, he was a ghost, Florence. Very much dead and off limits.
Yeah. I love this book. It was so good.
And then him saying that he has a bone to pick with her ex anyhow. And she's like, oh, were you in love with him too? And he's like, no, but you were. And I can tell that it hurts.
Yeah, that got me. I was like, he's perfect.
So good. I love him so much.
He's amazing.
He's, yeah.
Gorgeous man.
Oh, yeah. We already talked about how she liked the ghost that she solved the murder for, so I don't need to talk about that. My writing got really messy at the end here because I was just so into it that I didn't want to be taking notes.
Yeah,
so like,
it
literally just looks like scribbles.
I love that.
I think it says, I'm totally shipping them together and I'm really nervous about it. I really don't want him to be dead. That's not at all what that looks like on the page, but that's what it says. I would try to show you, but it's just going to be backwards and like weird. Not backwards, but like weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I really don't want him to be dead.
Yeah, I know. I'm so glad he wasn't.
Yeah, I shipped it too hard. I didn't want to feel the tragedy of it. It would have hurt too bad. They were just so cute. Like, they work together so well.
They do.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I just love them so much.
Yeah, I love them. They are everything.
Yeah. We can talk about quotes, unless you have anything else you want to say about the romance or anything.
I don't think so. I do have to say, though, I remember one scene. I don't know if it was, like, something driving past him and he disappeared. Was there a scene like that? Where, like, he was standing on, like, the side, like, the other side of the street? I don't remember, but I feel like something like that happened, and I was like, that's so iconic.
If you don't remember, I don't remember.
Yeah. Like, that's my one wish in life, is to just, I saw a tweet
I feel like that happened.
Yeah. It was like my one wish is just to be standing across the street from someone and just stare at them, and then a bus will pass by and I disappear. Like,
I feel like you sent me that tweet.
I feel like I might have. But I feel like it happened in this book, but I don't quite remember.
I feel like it did.
But, like, it's iconic.
Okay. Quotes. Oh, this one was so good. Love was a high for a moment that left you hollow when it left, and you spent the rest of your life chasing that feeling. A false memory, too good to be true, and I'd been fooling myself for far too long, believing in grand romantic gestures and happily ever afters. Those weren't written for me. I wasn't the exception. I was the rule. Like, are you kidding me? What a mood.
Okay, it did happen. I'm glad.
Thank God we have Lisa here to keep us in check.
Yeah, because when it happened, I was like, wow, typical ghost.
Yeah. Like, if there was not a moment like that,
yeah,
we would have some things to say to Miss Ashley Poston.
Oh.
When it left? Are you kidding me? And like her just like firmly believing.
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, rude. I was talking about how the like love was a high for a moment that left you hollow when it left. Like,
oh yeah,
such a good line. And like I just
so many of these quotes are like bringing me back to just like 5 Sauce 5 lyrics. Like that reminded me of Redline when he's like, a secret weapon no one showed you, fall out of love, you lose yourself. It's just like exactly. And we were talking about like the tragedy at the end.
All I knew about
was older. Oh.
This is so chaotic.
I was saying that one reminds me of Redline when he's like, secret weapon no one showed me or you, fall out of love, you lose yourself. It's just like, yeah, very true.
Of course you would bring it back to 5 Sauce 5.
It's just, it takes up my brain. That's all that's in there.
I believe that. Yeah, I just love that she like truly believes that like those like just aren't written for her and that she's the rule and like she's never gonna get that kind of like love story.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that.
I feel like it's relatable for a lot of people, especially people who read like a lot of like fiction, because it's just like it's hard to like find that in real life.
Yeah, and I feel like it does set up like unrealistic expectations. But like I can't help myself, you know. I'm a romance girly. What can I say? There was something on this page. I just need to find it.
I feel like I didn't write down anything else other than like from page 133 to 187 because I was just too into the story. But the one that like I felt was like when she was talking about Ben and like how he's dead now, and then she was saying he had plans. Everyone has plans, even if they don't realize it. Even the ones who go, they think that they don't have plans, but like there's always like something that comes up. I was like, wow. It's so sad.
Oh, okay. So this quote, it says, I wanted to matter again, to someone, to anyone, for a moment. Are you kidding me? I want to matter to somebody. Oh, and then also like the whole paragraph before, she's like talking about like why wasn't she over him? Like why did she still want him to like look at her? Why did she still care about what he thought or like because like he had done so many bad things to her. Also relatable to her.
The phrasing is stressing me out. Oh no. I don't know how to like occupy the silence by myself. Hey guys, taking over Brittany's channel. Oh. I feel so awkward. How long is she gonna be gone for?
I just straight up lost Wi-Fi for a minute.
There you are. I was talking about how I don't know how to occupy silence without you.
I couldn't even see you. Like we were both just black screens for me.
Oh, Lisa said I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm trying my best over here.
Like I just completely lost Wi-Fi. Anyways, I was saying the quote like right before the one I just said, but it said, why did I still want him to look at me like I was the only story he wanted to learn and tuck my hair behind my ear and kiss me like I was a heroine in a romance and tell me I was loved, that he loved me.
Wow.
It hurts. It hurts real bad.
It does. Oh, my least favorite quote is on page 144. She said, I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding.
Oh my god, did she?
Yeah. I was like, not that. Dude, there was that line in The Near Witch and I crossed it out. I was like,
how did I not notice that?
I read it and I got so upset.
I feel like I always notice when like people do that exact line or they try to change it slightly to make it less bad, but it never works.
Yeah.
I
was like, not that.
How do you not realize that you're holding in a breath?
I don't know. I mean, recently I've been realizing, like, I've just been not breathing.
Yeah, like I feel like sometimes if I'm like walking, I'll like hold my breath, but I'm like semi-aware that I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like when I'm not breathing, I know that I'm not. Like I'm just like I should breathe here.
Yeah. But I feel like I've never needed to put that line in when writing, so I don't know why authors do that so much.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done it in one of my very first stories, and I'm not proud of my past self for that. No. It just seems like quirky, you know, like, oh my gosh, I forgot I was
like I wonder if they're doing it ironically now, just for funsies.
Just for giggles.
Just for some giggles. I put the last paragraph, oh my god, on page 141. Oh, yeah. I was foolish, and I was only going to hurt myself, because if I knew anything about death, the goodbyes were harder with ghosts than corpses.
Yeah. I feel like they would be.
Yeah.
Because, like, then they're, like, really, like, actually gone. Like, there's nothing after that. Oh, that's so sad.
The saddest.
Why'd you have to say it again?
I'm so sorry. I'm not really that sorry, though. Okay, I've got one more quote. Such a good quote, although not going to lie, my handwriting there kind of looks like gourd. Such a gourd quote. It's the bottom of the page. I don't know.
Isn't it like a pumpkin?
Oh, a gourd? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a type of pumpkin.
It fits the season.
Yeah. So yeah, not because I couldn't exist on my own, but sometimes I just didn't want to.
Oh, I feel that all the time. I could exist alone, but like I'd prefer not to. Me, myself, and I? No thanks.
Yeah. Or it's like knowing that like you can handle something, like knowing that like you can handle a bad thing, but you just don't want to. Or like you know that like you can be strong and you can do something, but you don't want to. I feel that really hard.
Me too. Well, especially with like anxiety too. Like you know you can do it, but you're just like scared that like what if you can't? Like yeah. And
just also like it's so mentally exhausting that you're just like I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah, I feel that in my soul.
The quote continues. It says, "Sometimes I just wanted to let my guard down, let the pieces of me fall to the ground, and know that I had someone there who could put me back together without minding the sharp bits."
Oh. Yeah.
Devastating.
Well, because she's been through so much and like been like obviously everything that happened with Lee, like she doesn't trust anybody else. Like it's just sometimes it's really hard to just like share like any little piece of yourself because you don't know how it's going to be taken. Like she shared her whole life story and he completely butchered it for his own gain. Like oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, it sucks. I feel like she's about to get so many different therapy bills.
Yeah.
She was mean for writing this book, but also I love it with my whole heart. So, yeah, I don't think I had any other notes.
One quote that I really liked was on page 135, where she was just talking about like writing and like the way she described it. I was like, oh wow, because she said, "I'd wanted to be a writer ever since I was little. I like words. I like shaping them. I like how the stories you create can be kind and good, and I love how they can never fail you if that's how you make them." I was like, wow. It's just I
loved all of her talking about writing. I could have said that so much more eloquently. But yeah, I love all the parts where she talks about writing. It's so relatable. Yeah, because like I've always written like since I was a little kid, and I feel like writing has always been there for me. Like even when it's hard, like it's still there. And I still like get something from it.
Well, because then you could literally just put like everything you want into like a story, like you can put like bits of yourself, like bits of like literally everything and just make it into something beautiful. Like it could be like a really hard time in your life, but like you'll have that outlet to just make something out of it instead of just like it eating you up.
Yeah, I love being like a creative person for that reason, because you can just channel all of your feelings into something and make it beautiful. Yeah, like in the next book that I'm gonna be writing for NaNoWriMo, I'm putting a lot of myself in it, and that's terrifying.
Yeah.
But also, like, I know it's gonna be such like a cathartic experience. So
yeah, it's crazy. Writing is powerful. Words are powerful.
So powerful. Okay, I think unless there's anything else you want to say, we can go through the discussion questions.
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay, not all of them, because some of them I don't feel like answering. I probably should have taken note of which ones I wanted to do, but I didn't think that far ahead.
I don't even think I looked at them. I think I glanced. I just speed read over some.
Ooh, both Ben and Florence find comfort in romance novels.
I was literally gonna read that
one. Look at us. What are some of your favorite comfort reads?
I don't know if I have like specifics. You go first.
I definitely do. Wonder by R.J. Palacio, obviously. I have people texting me on Discord. So Wonder by R.J. Palacio, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I don't know why, but I love that book. Talk Flirty to Me by Libby Hart. I love that book with my entire soul. If you guys have not read it, please do. It's so good.
Yeah. Brittany's the biggest fan of that book.
I'm literally her number one friend. She was actually just texting me. That's who was texting me on Discord. Anyways, love that book. 10 Rules for Faking It by Sophie Sullivan. Also love that book. And the author is a sweetheart. She's my friend's mom. Love her.
Yeah.
What else? I feel like I have a lot and they're just all escaping me at the moment.
I have a comfort author, which is V.E. Schwab. Literally everything by V.E. Schwab. It's just, it brings so much comfort. Like, yeah.
I feel like To All the Boys is a very comforting series because it's just so cozy and like just so sweet. I like books that are easy to read, but also that like I connect to. I totally saw this coming.
Let's go! The exclamation points really add.
Shatter Me. I think Shatter Me is like a comfort series for me. Gotta love me some dystopian vibes. Very comforting. What else? I feel like Anna Green Gables, obviously.
Yeah.
Cannot even tell you the squeal that I let out when you mentioned Anna Green Gables in your TBR, even though like, I knew
you were going to.
I knew that you were doing it because you told me.
Yeah.
But, like, I was still like, it's there.
Yeah. Like when I was writing it, I was like, yeah, Brittany's gonna flip. She's gonna freak out.
You're gonna absolutely adore it. I have a feeling. Like Gilbert Blythe. He is the blueprint. I love him. Like there's no one better than Gilbert Blythe, I swear to God. Yeah, I don't know. I have so many comfort reads.
Yeah. I think my ultimate comfort read, it's not like a novel, it's like a manga series. It's Full Metal Alchemist. Hands down, my biggest comfort ever. I love that series so much. It's so good.
I feel like comfort reads to me are just books that I've returned to all the time and like just made me feel really good. Like The Hating Game is a book that I return to all the time because it's just so easy to read. It's just like I can read it in a sitting. I've read it in a sitting every single time I've tried to read it. I've gone to read it, and it makes me so happy. It's so cute.
Yeah.
I feel like Beach Read is another comfort read. It's another good one. Yeah, I don't know. I love books here.
Yeah, whenever I need comfort, really any book can provide it, unless it's one that I'm just like really not vibing with. I'm just like, get out of my face. I don't want to read any other words.
What is a book you loved that you believe more people should read? What did you love most about it? Are you looking at your shelves?
I feel like a lot of books that I read, like a lot of people know of.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I have one. I need to think.
I've got some. Talk Flirty to Me. It is my mission in life to make everybody read that book.
That's gonna be me when your books are published. I'm just like, you have to.
Thank you.
I'll be your number one.
I believe that. Yeah, Talk Flirty to Me by Livy Hart. Like, if you love second chance romance, if you love dating the brother's best friend trope, if you love one bed trope, if you love like forced proximity, like there's just, and like by forced proximity, I do mean it quite literally. There's a scene where they're like in a closet. It's just so good. If you love like steamy romances, like hello, look no further. If you just love like big chaotic families, like Cheaper by the Dozen kind of vibes.
Oh, chaotic families, I love them.
You're gonna lose your fucking mind over this book. I need you to read it now.
I need to read it so bad. Like, I've been telling myself, I just haven't gotten to it yet.
I am already hankering for a reread, and I've technically already read it twice this year.
Oh my gosh.
I read she sent me the like one of the more like updated revisions before it came out, and I read that at the very beginning of the year, and then I obviously read it when it was like actually published. So like in total, I've read the book 3 times. I'm like, I need to read it again.
Again.
But it's like it's such a big book. I'm just like, do I have the time?
Thick one.
I feel like it just looks really thick because it's like a mass market, but it's not actually that long.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally have more. Makeup Breakup by Lily Menon, aka Sandia Menon. Nobody talks about that book. I don't know if I've heard a single person talk about that book, and I feel like it's because I feel like she hasn't been very present on social media in the past like couple of years. So I feel like she's just not like marketing them or like promoting them as much as she did her past books.
Yeah.
So like if you don't know that that's her, you might not know. But it is so good. It's an office like workplace kind of romance vibe, and I've discovered in the past couple of years that's one of my favorite tropes. And it's just so good. And it's like they're like both the characters are like developing apps, and they're like rival apps.
I thought you said abs for a second.
No, apps. APPS. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. What else? I feel like I definitely have more. I
don't think I have any, which is
I don't have my bookshelves with me. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure I have more.
I wish I had some, but I just read like what I hear is good. Someday I'll branch out and find something.
I don't really feel like answering the other questions because I don't really have like good answers for them. But I just saw that Beach Read is one of Ashley's comfort reads. She put her comfort reads in here. Howl's Moving Castle is another one.
Oh, I love Howl's Moving Castle. I haven't read it, but I love the movie.
The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. I have that book. I have not read it, but I have it. Dating You, Hating You by Christina Lauren. Also, I've not read it, but I love Christina Lauren. The one fanfic that will never be named. Unknown.
I saw that. That's funny. The Princess Bride. I was supposed to read that for school, and I never did. And we had to write an essay about it, and I just winged it.
I never had to read any of like the like normal required reading books because every teacher that I had just like went by like the tune of their own horn or like whatever the frick that saying is. Like I don't remember what people were reading in grade 8. It might have been The Outsiders, but I feel like that might have been grade 9.
I had to read it.
But like I read books like Freak the Mighty. What's that about? I don't remember. I also read Night by Elie Wiesel, and one year we didn't even read a novel. And then I think the last 2 years we just picked our own novel to read out of like a batch list that they had.
Yeah, I feel like it's better when teachers do stuff like that because like they know like what their students will like better and like what will like actually like you know.
I also avoided Shakespeare my entire high school.
Oh yeah, I can't. Shakespeare is hard for me to get into.
Like they never made us do it. And like I had one teacher who was like, okay, do you want to do a novel or do you want to do Shakespeare? And we all voted for the novel. And I was like, thank God, because I do not understand Shakespeare. I don't want to have to study Shakespeare. So yeah, I managed to avoid lots of things. Never read To Kill a Mockingbird. Never read any of it.
Yeah. I read If We Were Villains, and Shakespeare is very present in that book. And like there were like they would show scenes of like the plays that they were performed, and I would just skip over those scenes because I could not be bothered. I was like, I don't want to read Shakespeare right now.
See, in the Pages and Co series, and I think it's the third book, we get to see some like famous authors, and they're like there in the flesh to talk to. And they had William Shakespeare, and I feel like it would have been fine if he was just like a passing character, but no, he like went on their journey with them for a portion of it, and I was like, I don't care. I'm like, you're asking me for too much here. Like, I can believe fictional characters, even though like I feel like it's not the best, because I'm like, some things they're doing are just stupid. But I'm like, you're asking too much of me to believe that she's talking to William Shakespeare and that he's a character in this book. It's too much. However, if it was like Ella Montgomery, I would have been a bit more on board. But I don't need the dead old white man. We love Beach Read.
I need to read it. The only Emily Henry book I've read is Book Lovers, and I loved that book so much.
That one's really good.
So good.
My ranking is Beach Read, Book Lovers, but they're very like close together. And then People We Met on Vacation, which was really good, just not quite as good.
I've heard mixed things about People We Meet on Vacation. Like, I've heard that it's like,
I feel like I liked it because I could like relate to it in some aspects. So that made it more enjoyable for me because I could relate it to like an actual like experience that I had. But it's definitely like the worst of the three for sure.
Yeah.
Have you read any Christina Lauren? I don't think you have. Oh my god, you need to read.
Because I remember one time I was at Half Price Books and I was like, give me book recommendations now. I'm at the store. And you said Christina Lauren and I could not find any. I was so sad.
Oh, she's so good. My favorites, I don't have a favorite. I love them all. I've read In a Holidays, which is their Christmas book. So good. And then there's The Unhoneymooners, which is like fake marriage. We love.
Yeah, I've heard that one. I've almost read that a couple times.
I love that one. I feel like that is one that some people don't like, but I'm a big fan. Yeah, because it's like fake dating, but like with a little bit more stakes involved. It's fun. It's like fake dating on crack. And then I think my favorite might be Love in Other Words. That one's real good. It's like told in a dual timeline.
Love that.
It's so good. Yeah, I love romance books. Clearly,
they're good.
Yeah,
I used to not read that much romance, but then I started, and I was like, "This is beautiful. Why have I not read these sooner?" See, like when I was younger, I would read a lot of Nicholas Sparks. Not going to talk about it. Don't read him anymore. But I was like a huge fan of him as a child. And I do mean like a child, like 10 years old. Read a lot of Nicholas Sparks. But that was like the extent of it outside of like young adult was just Nicholas Sparks. And I feel like my first true romance novel was The Hating Game in 2020. And ever since I've been... It's had me in a chokehold. Like, I feel like in the last 2 years, like, romance books have just really, like, taken up most of the spots on my favorite books of the year list at the end of the year. Yeah. And it's going to be no different this year. They're so good. There's nothing like it, you know? They're so much fun. Like, and I hate paperbacks, too. And my paperback collection has grown so much since I started reading romance books, because it's, like, basically all they're published in. Which, like, good. I used to hate paperbacks, but, like, they're so much more comfortable to read, in my opinion.
It depends on what kind it is.
Yeah.
I just prefer the look of hardcovers. But, I feel like I was going to say something. I have no idea. Oh, I'm glad they're in paperback, because the hardcovers would be way too expensive. They'd be, like, $30. Like, Angelica Frankenstein Makes Her Match by Sally Thorne. I got it from the library, and they had the hardcover version of it for some reason, and it was like $36 or something. Like, it was ridiculously expensive. And I'm like, if I ever buy this book, 100% getting it in paperback. Like, no, there's no way.
Too much, unless it goes on sale or something.
No, I mean, I'd rather have the paperback anyways, because hopefully it would be the same size as The Hating Game, and I could just put them next to each other. But there's no going back once you start reading romance. Like,
yeah, like it literally, it's just like, like it's, oh,
there is nothing quite like it. Like, what's your favorite romance, would you say?
Probably Book Lovers.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think. Oh, actually, no, the XX.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lisa didn't love that one quite as much as you do.
I know. I was so sad. I watched her vlog and like I saw her review on her rating on Goodreads before I saw her video, and I was like, no. I felt my soul shatter, but I understand why it's like not for everybody.
I eat it up. I'm gonna reread it tomorrow, I think. I read it in a sitting last year on Halloween. Like, I just parked my butt down on the couch and I just read it.
I want to reread it already so bad. I might
do it. I need to. My plan is to read it tomorrow. I have a Halloween party in the evening, but I'm pretty sure that I can still like get it done. And then I want to read The Kiss Curse on Halloween to kind of replicate the experience of the XX last year on Halloween. I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. Nobody asked, but my favorite romances are The Hating Game.
What's your favorite romance?
Yeah, thank you. The Hating Game. Talk 30 to me. 11 Other Words. 10 Rules for Faking It. Beach Read. Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Yeah. Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Or Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I can never remember, or I can never figure out which one's my favorite. I feel like I might like Take a Hint, Danny Brown just slightly more because there's anxiety rep in it.
Yeah.
But like, I always have like good feelings and like good memories associated with like the first book in like a series. So I feel like I've just got like such good like feelings for Get a Life, Chloe Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, the X-Hex. So cute.
I can't even explain to you how much I don't even know why. Like, I'm just like, yes.
The vibes of it are just so good. Oh, it's like a spooky, like, Stars Hollow. Like, spooky.
I know. I love it. It's so good.
Danny Brown is next level. It's so good. Zach?
I think I started reading Chloe Brown, but I never finished it.
That's a shame. See, when I first read that book, I was doing a vlog for, like, romance books. And I said at the beginning, I was like, I don't know if I'm liking it. Like, I don't know if I like the writing. And then, like, I finished it in the same day, and I was like, oh, I'm obsessed. So,
just like, I lied.
I judged it a little too soon. It's the same with The Hating Game, though. I also did not like The Hating Game in, like, the first, like, 30, 50 pages because I didn't like the writing. Then, like, the story just gripped me, and, like, the writing fell to the wayside, and it doesn't even matter. It does always take me a second to get into it, though, when I reread. So it's, like, it's a little cringy in the writing.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun. Yeah,
that's how I was with The Ninth House. It took me 100 pages to, like, actually like it. I hate when that happens. Yeah. But I was determined, and I ended up loving it. But, like, I actually, like, I fell asleep. Like, literally, I was reading it, and then I was waking up. I was like, what happened?
I've never read or never fell asleep while reading.
Yeah, that was the first time it happened. I was so confused. I was like, this actually happens to people.
I was gonna say something. Oh, I love books where, like, when you start them, like, you just know instantly that you're gonna love them.
Yes,
this is one of them. Like, I was gripped from that first, like, chapter.
I think we were talking when you started it, right? Yeah, you literally read the prologue and, like, the first page. You're just like, Alyssa, you're just like, I love this so much already.
Yeah. I feel like there was another book that I read recently that was also like that. It might have been Truly Devious. Like, the first page, I was like, oh, yeah. Like, the first chapter, I was like, I'm in love with Dottie. I love her so much.
Yeah.
Even though, like, it's very clear right away that she's dead. Or, like, she dies, but it's just like, I love her. Would die for Dottie. Yeah, I don't know. I love reading.
It's so good. I love reading.
Like, I just stare at my bookshelf sometimes and just, like, sit there admiring all the books.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there is nothing I love more in this world than books.
Yeah, I'm so happy that I'm getting back into it because there was, like, a period where, like, I just did not read.
That was a long period.
It was, like, 2 years. I don't know how.
That's depressing.
It was. I was depressed in those 2 years. It was awful.
I mean, I read so much last month. I read, like, 19 books?
Yeah, you were on X Games mode. You were...
I don't know what happened. I feel like it became September, so in my head, I was like, it's fall, even though it didn't feel like fall, and so I was like, I must read everything. And, like, I came alive. It was great. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read that much this month though. It's kind of depressing.
I read a lot of manga. I read 14 volumes of Tokyo Ghoul. It was
You're killing it.
I really am. And it
I
nearly
love that
killed
one.
me. Speaking of, this has nothing to do
Not
with
that.
this.
You
Nothing to
said
do
that
with this.
so casually. Like, and it nearly killed me.
No, yeah. But yesterday we were getting ready to go to like a Halloween thing. This literally has nothing to do with anything, but I almost died. I was spraying my sibling's hair with like colored like hairspray.
Mm-hmm.
The room was not ventilated enough. I had to step out. I was like, I'm gonna pass out.
Was it like the Halloween dye? Like the
Yeah.
I had to use that in grade 7 because I was being a goth. Because everybody liked to call me a goth for some reason. And so I was like, well then, I'll show you what a goth is.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I have to dye my hair black. I didn't really need to. So we bought, I think, just one of the canisters, but I had so much hair.
Yeah, you have a lot of hair.
That it only covered like the top half of my head.
Oh.
And then like it poured rain when we were trick-or-treating anyway. So like it just kind of like streaked all into my face. It was not a look.
Dang.
I should have just left it brown.
Yeah. That's so sad.
Yeah. Like literally, just talk about my hair for a second. I got a haircut. And it's like so short now in comparison because it was like down to my ass before. But
it was long.
But also like she thinned it out. And she was like, I probably took about half of your hair off or like half of like the thickness out. It's still so thick. It's still probably thicker than a normal like average person's.
Yeah, you have a lot of hair.
It's ridiculous. And it's so funny because I was getting my hair done at the same time my mom was getting her hair done because we have the same hairstylist and my mom gets her hair dyed. And so while her hair was like processing, our hairdresser was cutting my hair. But she knew that it was going to take a long time to wash my hair. So while she was doing my mom's hair, she got her like assistant lady or like a different hairdresser to wash my hair. Also, I think it's because she didn't want to wash it because there's so much of it. And so she got her assistant lady to do it. And she, I guess, went back to my hairdresser after while I was sitting in the like hair cutting chair. She was like, I don't think I've ever washed so much hair in my life before. Like, it was so funny. She's like, yeah, I don't think I've ever washed that much hair.
Jeez, you made an impression.
I know. And then my hairdresser was like, I think I've cut hair longer than yours. Like, I don't think yours is the longest hair I've ever cut. It would be funny if it was, though, because my hair was longer the last time she cut it.
Jeez.
It was, like, past my butt.
Yeah, that's how mine was before I cut it.
Yeah, and it was shorter this time, so maybe I am the longest. But when she said that, I was like, well, I guess I have to grow out more then, because I want to win. I want to be the longest and the thickest and the most.
Yes, as you should.
Thank you.
It
yeah,
really healthy.
It was really dead at the end. Yeah, she called it a tail because she was like, it's just, like it's so just like thin at the bottom and like dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's nice and short.
I just get so emotionally attached to my hair. Like I have such a hard time cutting it. Like I
don't like I'm emotionally attached to it and like I can't cut it like super short because I just don't like the way it looks. But I don't like the process of getting my hair cut. I don't enjoy it. Like I don't enjoy them washing my hair because they like massage your head and I find it so incredibly awkward that I almost always burst out laughing. So I always try to think of really sad things to prevent myself from laughing.
Yeah. Oh, not that.
Yeah. Like I have to do this when I'm at the dentist too. Like for certain things. I had this dentist. There was a.
Oh no! It cut out. Oh, there we go.
Like when I had my orthodontist and she was like changing out the different elastics in my braces, she would always like accidentally like push her boob up right against my face. So I'd have to like try to think of really sad things so I wouldn't laugh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so like I would think of like Augustus Waters dying in The Fault in Our Stars, and then I almost started to cry, and I was like, that was too sad.
You were like doing too much.
Yeah. So. Bye, Lisa.
Bye,
I love you so much.
I'm very excited for Six of Crows discussion. I love that book so much.
If you guys missed the announcement, we are reading Six of Crows next month, November, for the book club, and I'm so nervous. I'm so
excited. It's one of my favorite books. Like unmatched.
I'm so scared that I'm not gonna like
I
it.
hope that you love it.
Me too, because I've had it on my TBR for so long and it's so beautiful and I don't want to not like it.
Yeah.
But also, I'm just so scared. Like, high fantasy is not my thing. And I'm like, will I have the brain power to read and enjoy this book this month? I don't know.
I believe in you.
It's either going to be a really good thing that it's our book club pick or a really bad thing. Because it's like, either way, it's going to force me to read it. But that could go very well or very terribly. Like,
yeah, it's either
no
going to go one way or the other.
Yeah, it's like forcing myself to read it could be very bad because that could mean like if I'm not in the mood for it, then I could like that could influence it, or it could be like just the right thing I needed to push me to read it. There's only one way to know, and that's just to read it.
It's hard to know.
I'm scared.
You're in Dream City.
Wish me luck. This is terrifying because like this was a pretty safe bet.
Yeah,
I feel like for both of us.
Yeah,
and Six of Crows is safe for you because like you read it.
I love it. Yeah, we're really just diving in. We're just like, all right, time to get to the hefty stuff now.
I'm like, it's on my 2022 TBR, so like I was gonna try to read it in November regardless, but I'm nervous. My cat is trying to get into the room. Anyways, I feel like we should end this live show because we're not even talking about the book anymore. Like we're talking about me getting my hair washed.
I had a great time.
Yeah, I had a great time too. Yeah, so Six of Crows is our book for next month. We will, I'm assuming at some point, try to do reading sprints in the live show.
Yes.
And then we will either at the end of the month or beginning of December do a live show to discuss Six of Crows, which again, I'm so excited. Nervous. Our different vibes right now is hilarious.
I know.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining with us. And we will see you next month. I hope you read Six of Crows with us. It's going to be so much fun. But yeah, bye.
Bye.